Part 1. The Desperate Call, 770 Words. The story opens in the year 2387, where humanity has been part of the Galactic Council for 50 years. Earth is classified as a death world, a planet so harsh that its inhabitants develop extreme survival traits. Most alien races see humans as useful but primitive warriors. Captain Jake Morrison commands the human patrol ship Iron Will when they receive an emergency broadcast from the peaceful Valen system. The message is desperate. An unknown fleet of massive black ships has appeared and begun destroying entire planets. The aliens' weapons cannot even scratch the invaders' hulls. The Galactic Council emergency session shows the scope of the threat. Elder Quinn of the bird-like Velens pleads for help as holographic footage reveals the destruction of 3 worlds. The invaders, calling themselves the Void Hunters, demand complete surrender of all galactic civilizations or face extinction. Council members panic. The advanced Chitauri with their energy shields are helpless. The militant Korax warriors were defeated in hours. Only one option remains: activate the Deathworld Protocol and call upon humanity's war fleets. Admiral Ross Blake receives the activation codes at Luna Station. For the first time in galactic history, humans are asked to lead a military campaign. The other species offer their technology and ships, but they need human tactical minds and the legendary human ability to fight impossible odds. Jake's crew prepares for war as Earth's massive shipyards come alive. The final scene shows the first human battle group jumping to hyperspace, carrying weapons designed for planetary assault and crews trained for total war. The human fleet arrives at the border system of Kepler 442, now a graveyard of alien ships and shattered worlds. Jake leads a reconnaissance mission through the debris field, discovering the terrifying truth about their enemy, the Void Hunters. Ships are not just advanced, they're powered by dark energy and crewed by beings that exist partially outside normal space-time. Their black holes absorb energy weapons completely. Conventional tactics are useless. Admiral Blake studies the enemy patterns with his staff. Major Lisa Cruz, the fleet's tactical officer, notices something crucial. The Void Hunters attack in predictable formations, expecting their prey to flee. They've never faced an enemy that fights back with coordinated aggression. Meanwhile, the surviving alien refugees gather at the fortress world of Vega Prime. Dr. Tom Wells, humanity's lead xenobiologist, works with alien scientists to understand the enemy's weaknesses. They discover the Void Hunters feed on fear and panic, emotions that fuel their dark energy weapons. The human psychological profile becomes clear. Where other species feel terror, humans feel anger. Where others despair, humans plan revenge. The very traits that make Earth a death world: aggression, persistence, and refusal to surrender, may be exactly what the galaxy needs. Captain Jake volunteers for a suicide mission. Take a small strike, forced directly into enemy territory to gather intelligence. His ship Iron Will is modified with experimental stealth technology and armed with kinetic weapons, simple metal projectiles that can't be absorbed by energy fields. The reconnaissance reveals the Void Hunters' main weakness. Their ships are designed for terror attacks, not sustained combat. They have no armor against physical projectiles, and their crews panic when faced with determined resistance. Jake's team barely escapes, but they bring back crucial data. Admiral Blake begins planning humanity's first major offensive, codenamed Operation Hammer Fall, a direct assault on the Void Hunter staging area. Admiral Blake's fleet moves through hyperspace toward the enemy stronghold in the Titan Nebula. 300 human warships advance in attack formation, each crew knowing they face an enemy that has destroyed civilizations. The battle begins at dawn over the dead world of Series 7. The Void Hunters' massive dreadnoughts emerge from dark space their hulls crackling with absorbed energy from previous victories. They expect easy prey, but instead face a wall of human fury. Captain Jake leads the first wave in his upgraded Iron Will. Human tactics prove devastatingly effective. Instead of energy beams, they fire railguns and missile salvos. Instead of fleeing when shields fail, they ram enemy ships with boarding pods full of Marines. Sergeant Dan Miller leads the first boarding action onto a Void Hunter ship. The corridors are filled with creatures of living shadow, but human soldiers fight with combat drugs and determination that terrifies their enemies. For the first time in centuries, the Void Hunters retreat. The space battle rages for 18 hours. Human ships take massive damage, but refuse to break formation. When the heavy cruiser Defiance loses power, her crew manually detonates the reactor. Core inside the enemy flagship's hull. Admiral Blake coordinates the fleet from his command ship Vengeance. He realizes the key to victory is not destroying the enemy, but breaking their will to fight. Every human attack is designed for maximum psychological impact. The tide turns when Major Cruz leads a squadron of fighter craft directly into the enemy command ship. Human pilots perform impossible maneuvers, using their Deathworld reflexes to fly through defensive fire that would kill any other species. By battle's end, the Void Hunter fleet is broken and fleeing. But Admiral Blake knows this is only the beginning. The enemy's main force is still out there, and they now know humanity poses a real threat. The final scene shows human engineers salvaging alien technology, while medics tend to the wounded. The galaxy's first hope in months has been delivered by the species. Everyone considered primitive barbarians. News of humanity's victory spreads across the galaxy like wildfire. Species that had written off all hope begin to believe again. The Galactic Council formally requests that Admiral Blake take command of all remaining defensive forces. The human fleet has grown to over 1,000 ships as Earth's industrial might fully awakens. Massive factory ships churn out weapons and armor, while human tacticians train alien crews in Deathworld combat methods. Captain Jake receives a new assignment: lead a joint task force of human and alien ships to liberate the occupied Centauri system. His crew now includes volunteers from a dozen species, all eager to learn human fighting techniques. The enemy has adapted too. Void Hunter ships now travel in smaller, more aggressive packs. Their new strategy is to target civilian populations directly, forcing the humans to spread their forces thin across multiple systems. The liberation of Centauri becomes a nightmare of urban warfare. Void Hunters have infested the colony cities with shadow creatures that feed on civilian terror. Human Marines must fight building by building while protecting alien refugees. Lieutenant Sam Torres leads a rescue mission into the capital city's underground tunnels. The darkness is alive with enemies, but human night vision and close-quarters training prove superior to alien terror weapons. Above the planet, Jake's fleet faces a trap. The enemy has called in reinforcements from across their empire. Outnumbered 10-1, the human ships form a defensive sphere around the evacuation transports. The space battle becomes legendary. Human crews push their ships beyond safe limits, while alien allies watch in amazement. When ammunition runs low, human ships use their own hull plating as projectile weapons. Major Cruz discovers the enemy's greatest secret. The Void Hunters are not conquerors, but refugees themselves, fleeing from something even worse in the Galactic. Void. Their terror tactics stem from their own desperate fear. This knowledge changes everything. Admiral Blake realizes the war is not about territory, but survival. The Void Hunters must be stopped, not just to save the current galaxy, but to prevent whatever drove them here from following. The battle ends with a costly victory, but the intelligence gathered reveals the enemy's main base, a massive structure, hidden in dark space between galaxies. To end the war, humanity must venture into the void itself. Admiral Blake assembles humanity's largest fleet ever, 2,000 ships carrying the combined military might of Earth and her allies. The mission is simple but terrifying. Assault the Void Hunter base in the space between galaxies. The journey takes 3 weeks through the cosmic void, where normal physics barely function. Human crews suffer from isolation madness, while alien allies question their sanity for following Deathworlders into literal nothingness. Captain Jake's iron will leads the reconnaissance force that discovers the enemy stronghold, a structure larger than Earth's moon, built from the remains of countless destroyed worlds. It pulses with dark energy and radiates despair across light years. The final battle is humanity's greatest test. The Void Hunter base is defended by their entire remaining fleet, plus automated weapon systems that fire concentrated terror itself. Human ships must advance through fields of pure psychological warfare. Sergeant Miller leads the ground assault into the base's core. His Marines fight through corridors lined with the memories of destroyed civilizations, while alien soldiers struggle against psychic attacks that leave humans merely angry. Admiral Blake coordinates the assault from the fleet flagship Humanities. Wrath. He realizes the base is not just a weapon, but a prison. Something is contained at its center that the Void Hunters both serve and fear. The truth is revealed when Dr. Wells reaches the core, an ancient entity of pure entropy that consumes entire galactic clusters. The Void Hunters were its first victims, transformed into servants, but retaining enough consciousness to flee and try to prepare new feeding grounds. Jake's team faces the entity directly. Where other species would be driven insane by its presence, humans respond with characteristic stubborn fury. They cannot defeat it, but they can contain it by destroying the base's power systems. The climactic scene shows human ships ramming the base's main reactors while their crews manually detonate nuclear charges. The entire structure collapses into a black hole, trapping the entity and its servants forever. The cost is enormous. Half the human fleet is destroyed, and thousands of crew members are lost. But the galaxy is saved, and humanity's reputation is forever changed from primitive barbarians to savior species. The story ends months later at Earth, where a memorial honors the dead while construction begins on new defensive stations. Captain Jake, now Admiral Jake, addresses the Galactic Council with a simple message. Never again will the galaxy face extinction alone, because humanity remembers its debts and always pays them back with interest. The final line reveals that deep space sensors have detected something new approaching from the far edge of the universe, and humanity's response is not fear but anticipation. They've learned to love a good fight.